Hello and welcome to Hub2Hub, the Hey Partner Talk from 5HT Digital Hub Chemistry and Health. I'm Corinna Herrmann, responsible for marketing and communications here at 5HT. We are part of the Digital Hub initiative initiated by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Energy to enable digital innovation between established corporates and startups. As 5HT, we are focusing on digital innovation in chemistry and health, as well as sustainability in connection with our industries by bringing together relevant partners. To do so, we have just set up a partnership with GINSUM, the German-Israeli network of startups and Mittelstand. Today, we are talking to Carsten Ovens. Carsten is Elnet's executive director and initiator of GINSUM, and he's based in Berlin, as you can see. Good morning, Carsten. Welcome and good to have you.
Good morning, Corinna. My pleasure being with you and thank you very much for the invitation.
Good to have you. Carsten has a broad experience in corporates, in academia, as well as in politics. And his credo is, let's innovate. Just like 5HT thinks. So it's perfect fit and therefore we have decided to join forces. To get to know your organizations a bit better, can you tell us who Elnet and GINSUM are and how they belong together? And of course, what GINSUM is all about.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you, Corinna. So first of all, let me maybe start with Elnet. Elnet, which is a short form for European Leadership Network, was established in 2007. And if I may say so, we probably are the leading organization for European-Israeli relations in the field of business and politics by today, with several offices across Europe and in Israel. So what we do is we bring together decision makers from different European countries, the European Union, and from Israel, the startup nation of the world and in the Middle East. And so we focus on foreign and security policy, on combating all forms of anti-Semitism, and what brings us together today, we focus on fostering innovation. And this is why we established the GINSUM project end of last year. GINSUM, again, is an abbreviation and it stands for the German-Israeli Network of Startups and Mittelstand. And to say it in a nutshell, we do exactly what the name of the program is.
Thank you. According to a study of Bitkom, at present, the majority of German medium-sized companies rate their own level of digitalization as just satisfactory. How can GINSUM help here, and which areas are you focusing on?
Yeah, pretty good question, Corinna. I think it's even worse because if you look deeper into this study, it's only every third German company that has its own central digitalization strategy at all. So, and I mean, Germany for decades, if not centuries, is well known as an industrial nation. So we have leading champions in many big fields, but also small niches, our so-called hidden champions. And what makes Germany strong is the so-called Mittelstand. And this is why we established and also named the program that we started end of last year, the Network of Startups and Mittelstand. And with the support of the German Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy, and more than 20 network partners, which 5HT is one of them, we are now connecting Israeli startups and German Mittelstand companies. Because from my personal experience and also what all these studies you just mentioned, the Bitkom study, say is we need a helping hand here to build the bridges and to bring together the best of two worlds. And that's what we do with the GINSUM project. We focus on digital health. We focus also on cybersecurity, green tech, as well as safe and smart cities. So 4 major fields the German industry has indeed dedicated global players in, but also Israel has a lot to offer.
That is true. Yes, the startup scene in Israel, as you mentioned it, is very, very active, especially well known in healthcare, which is one of our focus. With your contacts and our contacts, we're sure to foster digital solutions from Israel to Germany. There is a Bertelsmann study saying that there are 3 central obstacles to successful cooperation between Israeli startups and the German Mittelstand. What are they and how does GINSUM want to help to overcome those?
Well, that's a pretty tough question. Indeed, the 3 major obstacles the Bertelsmann study identified is a lack of market access, a lack of transparency with regards to relevant market players, and a lack of internal resources. I mean, we all are aware of the fact that many of the multinational German corporations have offices, research and development subsidiaries in Israel already for sometimes decades. I think Deutsche Telekom, for example, is located there for more than 25 years in the city of
Wow.
Beersheba with a cyber hub. And many other German companies, also the big pharma and medical companies, are active in Israel, and they have their own internal resources, their own internal departments. And usually, because they have an office down there, or at least partners, and they have an access to the market, and they know which market players are relevant. But for the vast majority of our Mittelstand companies, this is a difficult challenge. And with GINSUM, we build an independent and neutral platform which is dedicated to exactly tackle those three aspects. And maybe if I may add a fourth one, because the Bertelsmann Stiftung has identified those three major obstacles, but what we should not also forget, or better take into consideration for sure, is also the cultural gap. I mean, we all know that dealing with larger corporates, Mittelstand companies on the one hand, and startups on the other hand, that already is a cultural gap sometimes in terms of, for example, speed, in terms of hierarchy, and in terms of decision-making processes. And now imagine this not only between big corporates or Mittelstand companies and startups, but also coming and speaking about two different countries that on the one hand are very close to each other, but on the other hand, obviously, are different. And so what we need here, and what we aim to do with GINSUM indeed, is to build bridges, to explain. We will provide, for example, business culture guides for both sides, and we will help both stakeholders from both countries to better understand the market on the other side and how to collaborate successfully.
You're absolutely right, because that's what we experience as well here in Germany. And for the companies we are dealing with, that there is a gap between the large corporations and Mittelstand as well, compared to the startups. And it's sometimes a little bit complicated to communicate between those. And therefore, you are there to bridge the gap, as well as like we are there to bridge the gap. Okay, could you tell us a bit more about the GINSUM ecosystem?
Yes, so I already mentioned that GINSUM is like the 5HT Hub, supported by the German Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy. So that's one of the things that brings us together. But I think it's even more. So what we do with the GINSUM project, we try to establish a unique platform that is embedded in the ecosystem and community, first of all, of the European Leadership Network, so of ELNET, with our offices in Tel Aviv and Berlin, as well as other European major capitals. Plus, we are very delighted that we can actually rely on strong partnerships with the 5HT Hub, but also with more than 20 other strategic network partners that we have in Germany and in Israel. So, for example, just to mention it, one of our most active partners and our strategic partners is Startup Nation Central, another NGO located in Tel Aviv, so the capital of the Startup Nation, economic-wise. And indeed, Startup Nation Central will help us to reach out to more than 6,000 startups, many of them in the sector of health and pharma and chemistry. So this is why we built this network of partner organizations, because they have the dedicated industry focus. They are the experts in their particular field of industry. And we are basically the platform connecting all those partners and all the members and networks of these partners. And next to those strong partnerships and the collaboration that we have there, we also build a network of honorary ambassadors. So more than 50 experienced individuals from Germany and Israel are already listed on our website as ambassadors, and they also function as supporters. So for example, if there is an Israeli startup that wants to enter the German market, and maybe in that particular niche, we don't have a dedicated, strong network partner like 5HT. So then the startup can browse through our list of ambassadors on the website and directly connect with those people the startup feels relevant for their particular needs. If it's industry experience, if it's technical experience, if it's legal experience, whatever you name it, you can all find it on our website. So that's what we built, a unique ecosystem and community embedded in the LNet network with strong partners and highly engaged and motivated voluntary ambassadors.
So you can help our network with your ambassadors, and we can help your network with our ambassadors. We call them mentors and sponsors that we have in our growing ecosystem. So that's a perfect fit, I guess.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
As you mentioned before, GINSUM has been launched only in December 2020, so you're pretty young. What precisely are you planning or already doing right now?
Well, we all face a similar challenge these days, the pandemic, obviously, so that changed our plans a little bit. If there would be no COVID-19, we would have probably already organized 2 or 3 delegations from from the German Mittelstand going to Israel, and also vice versa from the startup nation coming to Germany. As long as we cannot bring together people physically, we do a lot virtually. So we just finished an event in a different sector in the media industry, where we scouted different tech companies in Israel based on individual tailor-made demands by German media companies. And we brought them together for a little virtual pitch event, and are now about to organize follow-up meetings between the Mittelstand companies and the startups. So far, everything virtual, but we aim to later on this year also host and execute physical roadshows, pitch events, workshops to establish a strong network and to bring together the best startups we can find with the most and highly motivated Mittelstand companies we have here.
So why not organize a program or a delegation or whatever in the field of chemistry, healthcare, and sustainability? So let's talk again in 1 year and see what happened.
My pleasure.
Okay. Well, having set up a partnership with both of our organizations, what benefits do you expect from our partnership?
Well, first of all, I believe the experience and expertise you have in the field of chemistry and health is for sure something that will be highly beneficial for the network and for the GINSUM project overall. We just started organizing a first, probably virtual and later on physical roadshow for startups in the field of digital health. And for sure, this will be something where we hope to be able to rely on your network in the industry, your experience, your contacts. And on the other hand, what can we offer? Depending on the individual needs, your network and the corporates you collaborate with, we can do a dedicated scouting and a tailor-made list of startups addressing those pain points and needs. And well, then it's all about bringing them together. And obviously, in particular, when it comes to the health sector, I don't have to tell you how strongly regulated the German market is, and there are good reasons for that. But on the other hand, it makes it difficult to be innovative and to integrate creative, innovative, and sometimes disrupting ideas and solutions. And so part of what we do is also educating Israeli startups and giving them a better understanding of the German market, about DIGA, about DIPA, and all the other regulations about private and public HMOs and everything we need to take into consideration when entering the market. So, and this is also something where I hope that with your support, that we can give startups coming from Israel to the German market a better understanding of how to tailor-make their solutions so that we could have indeed the best fit and make the best out of two worlds.
Mm. Yeah, and it's not only necessary for Israeli startups who want to enter the German healthcare market, but for all of them to have a long breath with all those regulations that you just mentioned. That is true. But so that's a good starting point for joining forces. And I'm pretty sure that we will be successful in doing that, because that's also our intention. Yeah, for now, Carsten, I would like to say thank you for your time and your insights. And we from 5HT are looking forward to a fruitful mutual partnership with GINSUM. Thanks again and have a nice day.
Thank you, Corinna. You too. Bye-bye, and hope to see you soon again.
Yes, so do I.